Hello and welcome to the new NAHJ Student Newscast. I'm Gianmarco Velasquez for our second Spotlight Series, Stories That Matter. I'd like to start off by acknowledging the importance this month holds. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and as student journalists, we often encounter the stress of school, home responsibilities, work, and supporting our families. With that, we cannot oversee the signs and must always ensure our mental health remains a top priority. And starting off on the East Coast, in light of this topic, we have a tragedy at Florida State University, which impacted the mental health of hundreds of students. A shooter entered the campus, sowing panic and taking the lives of 2 students. Nicolette Esper from FSU brings the testimonies and details of this tragic shooting.
Florida State University students were warned about a planned tactical training that was going to be complete with loud bangs and officers carrying firearms from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. and just at 12:01, those very sounds and sights turned real when a gunman armed with a shotgun opened fire on campus, killing 2 and leaving 6 fighting for their lives.
Attention. Attention.
This was the chaos that followed, people sprinting from buildings as shots rang out.
A lot of commotion, people started running, so naturally I thought to run with them, and once I got out of the building, that's when I heard about 7 to 8 gunshots.
Students piled chairs against doors, muscle memory for a generation raised on active shooter drills.
And then two students ran in yelling about a shooting. So we immediately did as we were taught to do in high school. We turned off the lights, locked the doors, barricaded under our desks.
The shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, an FSU student and the stepson of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy.
The alleged shooter was also a long-standing member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Citizen Advisory or Youth Advisory Council. So it's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons.
Student Mackenzie Heater witnessed the shooting in action.
And so when he turned to the woman and shot her, that's when I realized there was no target and that it was anybody he could see. And I took off.
After over 2 hours, officers had students in formal evacuation lines, hands visible as they cleared each building. This door shows the aftermath of SWAT's urgent response. Damage from their security sweep. Governor Ron DeSantis spoke for many Floridians, saying, quote, "We're all Seminoles today. We stand by to help in any way we can." And as investigators work through this to uncover the why, this campus that's endured this back before in 2014 begins the process of healing again. For now in North Miami, for NAHJ Spotlight Series from Florida International University, I'm Nicolette Esper.
Thank you, Nicolette. Truly, that healing is really what students need in times like these. The suspect was shot in the jaw by school police during the incident on April 17th, and according to officials, remains hospitalized. And unfortunately, this is not the only school shooting in recent time. Just days ago on April 27th, another act of violence was reported. This one in Elizabeth City State University in North Carolina, where a 24-year-old man was killed and 6 others wounded, among them 5 university students. According to reports, gunfire erupted early that Sunday morning while students celebrated their annual Viking Fest. According to the university, none of the injuries were considered life-threatening, and all victims were transported to a nearby hospital. It remains an open investigation. Tragically, these shootings are not isolated incidents. More than 80 people have been killed in 81 mass shootings across the United States in 2025 alone. This according to data from the Gun Violence Archive. To better prepare for a school shooting, the California School Action for Safety and Health Program, or SASH, recommends schools create an emergency action plan, provide students with training on what to do during an incident, and host practice drills to ensure they help identify gaps that can be addressed before an emergency occurs. And tragic news felt deeply by millions of Catholics across the globe. Pope Francis died the early morning hours of April 21st due to heart complications. This just hours after appearing at the Vatican's Easter Sunday service.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buona Pasqua.
Pope Francis was elected Pope in 2013 and was the first from the Americas. Before that, he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires. As Pope, Francis became known for his liberal positions on same-sex marriage and focus on the experience of undocumented migrants. He was also the first pope to give a speech to Congress and the first to meet with the head of the Russian Orthodox Church. However, he was criticized for responding slowly to sexual abuse in the church. I am Gianmarco Velasquez, an executive board member of USC's NAHJ chapter. Be sure to catch the rest of the Spotlight series by visiting the link below. And once more, thank you so much for watching.